We're on air now. Oh, it's shambolic today. Never mind. That's the Thompson twins introducing Benedict Cumberbatch.
Good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And now you must be exhausted.
I must look it. I feel it.
You don't look it.
I feel very much like an emerging mole.
Because where are you? You're in previews at the moment
Yeah.
for Frankenstein at the National Theatre.
Yes.
When does it actually open properly?
It opens. Oh God, I've lost all sort of recollection of time and space. I think it's. I think we have our press night in about 2 weeks' time. No, week and a half's time. We've had about 5 previews.
And it goes on till 17th of April.
Yes, it does.
And anyway, all of this is
back
academic
again.
because it's sold out, I believe. Is it?
No, well, yeah, but no, there are new dates that are coming up
are there?
in May. Yes, when we come back, we've got the end of April and May, because there's a break where they're repairing the theatre and doing some fundraising work. It's just slightly alarming. They're repairing the flies, which is where they store some of the scenery that they fly in. So
Yeah, they really ought to repair that.
well, I know, but I'm sort of lying there some nights looking up, going, why does that need repairing? Is it swinging over my head?
And the other exciting thing and I do think this is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
The people around the country who go, well, it's very nice you're talking about your big sold-out show at the National Theatre. We're not going to see it. You might, because on the 17th of March at 7 p.m, it's going to be beamed into cinemas worldwide.
Yeah, and because we're doing 2 versions, because we're alternating the parts, which are...
Yeah, sometimes you're the creature, sometimes you're the doctor.
Exactly.
And Johnny Lee Miller plays the other guy.
Exactly. So we alternate on various nights. So for NT Live, the first one that's broadcast that night, which I think is the 14th, as you said, or 17th.
17th, yeah.
There's going to be another broadcast on the 24th, which is going to be the other way round. So people have a choice, and the live one in this country is going to be me as the creature. We flipped a coin for that and for press night. He's playing the first press night as the creature. I'm playing the second press night as the creature.
Have you played both in front of an audience yet?
Yeah. Last night was the first night of playing Victor for me and him for the creature. So we were both terrified all over again, having done 4 the other way round, and got quite confident, or at least, understanding what the shape of both parts were, and that journey through the play. And then last night, there are just a few wild-eyed moments between the two of us. It's weird. It's like, to start off with, I was watching, because it begins with the creature, and I was watching him do his beginning, and it was like watching someone do my takeover or an understudy.
Yeah.
It was very weird, although he's infinitely better than, that. I mean, it's a wonderful experience, but I was nervous for him. I had birthing pains for him, which for anyone who's seen it so far will understand. Anyone who hasn't, no surprise, is going to be spoiled. But I was watching him, and I got nervous for him, and then I thought, oh God, no, actually, this is my nerves as well. I've got to go on and do something I haven't yet done.
And presumably you'll get to a point where you'll have a favourite. You'll have a thing, oh good, I'm the creature tonight, or oh good, I'm the doctor tonight.
I think both have enough meat on them and challenges to really warrant looking forward to either. I mean, the creature's a big one, because you're getting prepared 2 hours before the show starts, and it's about half an hour de-rigging as well. It takes a long time.
Oh wow.
But Victor, as I found out last night, it's a pretty... I mean, the creature is visually a very athletic part, but so is Victor. I mean, obviously he's the mental genius behind the conception of what you're watching, and the sort of sociopathic maniac, egomaniac. So there's a hell of a lot of energy and vim and vigour to him, but therefore phically it's very demanding in a way that I hadn't anticipated.
And quite epic, because there's no interval. It's straight through.
Straight through 2 hours, and it's a pretty fierce 2 hours. You hold on to.
And in terms of your life, as suddenly you just seem like the busiest actor in the world.
Slightly.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
the things have just taken off in this huge way.
And it's what you dream for. It would have been nice if I was 25 still and I had all that energy and it just kind of brushed off me.
You're still a child. You're still a child. Because we're going to see you in movies as well this year.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Because you're now in the National and Frankenstein, but you're also in the big hit for the National was War Horse, and now it's a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Is he directing it?
Yeah. He's directing it. I mean, he was there. I mean, lots of people ask me, was he directing it by Skype or something? No, he was there. He was there in the flesh. And we met him once before we started. It's very episodic, as you know, if you've seen War Horse. It's very contained. It's all about relaying the horses through this incredible journey they go on through the war. So my section is with another brilliant up-and-coming actor called Tom Hiddleston, and another great actor called
something
my
else.
oldest friends.
Yeah,
No,
you
no,
know
it's
him.
Patrick
Yeah,
Kennedy.
he's great. He's
Sorry,
great.
no,
Very close. Very
I
close.
was about to say his
Yeah.
character name. No, he is.
Yeah,
He's
spend
I went to
Christmases
school with
together,
him.
that sort of thing.
Patrick Kennedy. Patrick Kennedy. Patrick Kennedy. Patrick Kennedy. Now I can't get angry.
But the theatricality
Anyway.
of that
Yes.
production. So what's happening in the film? Are you not allowed to
Well,
tell
it's a
us?
Spielberg picture, so, you know, then there aren't puppets. There are real three-dimensional, incredible, amazing horses. And it is just epic. He's recreating a situation for these animals to go through the real horrors of the First World War. I mean, it's going to be extraordinary. It's going to be big Spielberg.
It sounds really upsetting because
It's terribly
the
upsetting.
play is very boo-boo,
Yeah,
and
it's-
those are puppets.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
to see real horses,
It's pretty distressing, and especially, and you get very used to it. And we were coming back. We get used to the horses. I mean, you get very close to them, and so coming back to see other bits filmed when we were doing publicity shots or whatever else, or pickups for our small section of it, you'd see this bit of the trenches, and you'd see your horse in its dying moment. Oh, it's just horrible.
Stop.
It's horrible.
And you learned how to ride, especially for the
Yeah. I mean, that's when you just wake up and just whistle to work, and just you feel like you're living under a rainbow all the time. It's just amazing how blessed you feel. You're going to work, and your work is to be taught how to ride a horse. I mean, you're utterly spoilt as an actor.
Well, you're spoiled if you learn. Like, if you're good at it, great.
Yeah.
But what if you'd got the part?
You're a sack of potatoes.
And then you're just absolutely useless. And every day they're just shouting at you.
Get the stunt guy on. Where's
Sit
that
up
wig?
straight. Stop leaning forward. Stop hugging the horse's neck. Can you tell I've tried to learn?
Yeah.
Very badly. Benedict Cumberbatch is my guest. Here's something very beautiful from the album 21. It's Adele. The beautiful Adele. She's in it for the long haul, isn't she? She's not a flash in the pan. You know, she's going to be
Well, she's
around
only
for a long
21,
time.
so she's got loads of time.
I know, isn't that annoying? Not old like you, Benedict.
No, me.
Not
was
ancient.
Out there.
And now we talked there about you learning how to ride a horse, but you are one of those actors who seems to really kind of throw somebody. Like, is it true you really did learn to play the violin for Sherlock?
Oh God, I couldn't even begin to confess that it is, because any musician watching could see that I am very much a novice. I mean, I did learn. Yeah, of course I did. I had about, 20 lessons, but I mean, the violin, people get taught that at 3 in the Suzuki method and still struggling at age 12. I mean, it's incredibly...
Have you kept it up, the violin?
No, because I had to take up the piano for the next part I was playing, which is no word of a lie, and even that, that cost me a lot of time, so...
But there is going to be more Sherlock, isn't there?
There is, so I should pick up that violin
Yes, you
again
really
soon.
ought to.
I really ought to.
Lazy actor.
I know. The thing is, if I did it now, I'd probably just end up smashing against the wall as the creature and forgetting where I was,
Because if you are that sort of actor who likes to kind of, how did you prepare for the creature?
Well, it'd be nice to be Danny Day-Lewis in the sense that you have 3 years or so between projects to do that, and you really have to hone in. And for the creature, it was amazing. Danny was very.
This is Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle, the director.
Who's also directed me, actually. I gave my Ron the Builder in a production of The Castle. Yeah.
Brilliant. He's brilliant, isn't he? He is just extraordinary. He's a life force. And
I bumped into Danny Boyle at a radio show where I was doing some stuff, and he went, and he was looking at me, and he goes, "Did I direct you?" And I went, "Yes." And he went, "But you were good. Why are you doing this?"
That is a compliment.
Can't you get a proper job?
Oh no, that is his way of giving you a huge compliment. He said, "Why did you give up? Why did you give up? Why did you stop?"
I didn't give up. Give up suggests I ever did it.
Oh right, you didn't.
No, I never worked. I never
did it. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. I tried, just no one gave me a job. Anyway,
Yeah. So yeah.
But so how do you
Preparation,
do you prepare for something that you can't prepare for?
Well, no. Well, okay. So before the audition, I just sort of went into a darkened room and imagined not having any core strength, not being able to move my limbs properly, not being able to see without it hurting eyes, and thinking, how on earth do I get a centre of gravity and get off the floor, which is where you would start in that position as something that's just born but fully formed. It's basically being a man-child. It's being a man-infant. And then psychologically, Danny and Nick Dear, who has adapted the Mary Shelley novel into a brilliant 2.5-hour play version of it. They both have autistic sons, so we went to 2 extraordinary schools and met some high spectrum autistic kids, and it was very, very humbling and amazing and very upsetting, but very, very, very extraordinary as well, and inspiring, especially the people looking after them, and these amazing life forces, but just formed with socially, just things that are outside of every day. You know, there are certain barriers that aren't there because of the arrested development. There was a 17-year-old who had the mental age, I think, of an 18-month-old. I mean, it was
wow.
It's really, really, really extraordinary and very upsetting. And it was important for them to realise that the creature in their story was not the monster of old, the monster of the Gothic horror stories. He's very much an innocent. He's very much someone who is carried through life as somebody who is so different, not only because of his appearance, but because of these behavioural tics, which are very autistic, both in his understanding of the world psychologically and emotionally, but also physically as well, how that manifests later in his body. And so that was the major part of the preparation, and then a lot of working out, a lot of gym and swimming and yoga and all that.
And then I think where a lot of people first saw you was playing Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, so it's the first time I've been back to something probably that physically altered since then. And
that must be very difficult because you were playing a Stephen Hawking we've never known.
Seen before. Well, yeah, difficult, but also a gift in the sense it's
you were playing the young. You were playing the young Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was spooky because his son, as I've often said, has bumped into me on set, and he was working there for a day, and he just did a double take, and his sort of jaw dropped. He's never seen his dad walk before. And I was sort of bowling along with a cane, admittedly, but in sort of a bow tie and a velvet jacket, but on my legs, and yeah, he was really taken aback. So,
and did you talk to Stephen Hawking about it afterwards?
We did, yeah. Well, I've met him and talked to him more afterwards than we did before. Before it was just a very last minute sort of meet and greet.
Because it must have been very weird for him to see himself being able to walk and being able to talk.
I wasn't even thinking about that one. I was just terrified that he'd look at it and say, "That's not me." He's very opinionated and to the point, as you can imagine, because it takes him a long time to communicate. Yes. So he's very precise and slightly autistic in that manner, because it's a bang,
rubbish.
This is what I feel. Yes, exactly. I yeah, exactly. Go back to the drawing board. But he, he was really supportive, and the first thing I heard him say on set was that was good, very realistic, and I cried. I was just so overwhelmed.
Oh. And now, are we going to cry again? Because you've chosen music which I don't know why. I'm just looking at the name, and I'm thinking it's going to be moving.
It's quite beautiful, yeah.
What have you chosen to?
It's good stuff to get.
Because I love it when a guest comes in and they pick a bit of music I'm not familiar with. So what have you chosen?
Well, John C is the lead singer of a band called Sigur Rós, and they're quite well known and beautiful Icelandic band. And this is a track from his solo album. I went to see him play live at Hammersmith in the autumn, and it just blew me away.
Fantastic. All right, well let's listen to it. Thank you very much for this, Prior. Now, a couple of things. First of all, I have to say, we're getting loads and loads of emails and texts just saying how fantastic Sherlock is, how much they love it. I wasn't going to talk about it much because it's not on, and it won't be on for a while. But you are filming it once you stop doing Frankenstein.
Yeah, in May we start filming the second series, which I'm very excited about, because we're tackling very big classical stories from the canon of it. So it's going to be a feast.
So it'll be before Christmas, autumn.
I think so. Yeah, I think hopefully. Yeah.
How many are you doing this time?
A quick turnaround. Three 1.5 hour films.
Oh. It's like drip feeding, isn't it?
Sorry. Well, they're 1.5 hour films.
Yes, no, they are long.
No, I mean, it's just, I think that the idea is to give really good quality, and yeah, that's.
Well, we're looking forward to them, because you are brilliant in them.
Thank you very much.
They are just great. Mark Gatiss was in bigging you up.
Oh, well, he needs bigging up as well. He's extraordinary.
Pip Taylor in Redditch writes,
yes,
Graham, I'm making homemade wine and beer in the kitchen. I'd love to know. I don't know why we need to know that, but anyway, I'd love to know the origins of Benedict's surname name. I'd not heard the name Cumberbatch before. All the best, Pip. Thanks for asking. Do you know anything about it?
Well, larks, Pip. Making alcohol on a Saturday morning. Yeah. That's a lovely thing to be doing.
Wine and
beer. The origins of my surname name is probably, well, like a lot of people who trace their names back, it gets to the point where it came over with William the Conqueror, and then it got bastardized, and the spelling changed from Cumberbatch, which is a bit more Germanic, into Batch. There is a village somewhere called Cumberbatch, and apparently it's in Cheshire, and that's where it's originally from. But I've really to get to the bottom of this, so every time I open my mouth, somebody then contradicts me with, no, it's Welsh for small valley dweller, or no, it's actually what it means is you're never going to be anything, you're a little person. Well,
but is there are there a list of Cumberbatches in the phone book, or is
there are a lot? No, there are a lot.
Oh, are there?
Yeah, there are a lot. It's not a very unusual name. But
you're very wrong, Pip. Back to the wine and beer. Thank you very much. There's a couple of things I've got to ask you about.
Yes.
One is this terrifying thing that happened to you. You were making a movie in South Africa.
Yeah, to the ends of the earth, yeah.
And you were sort of on the borders of Mozambique?
Mozambique, well, yeah, we were sort of more north. We were up that way, way above Durban, near Mozambique, and we were coming back from doing some... well, we went off for a weekend to try and learn how to scuba dive, and we just had this induction where you work out in the pool, and I got a bit ill, and wanted to go back that night rather than the morning, which was the fatal error, really, and we kind of blew a tyre on the main road, having got off what we thought would be the problem, which was the dirt track road leading to the main road. And it was a trap. There were nails on the road, the tyre went, and within sort of 5 minutes of trying to repair the tyre and get the spare tyre out, these people had surrounded us, and we were forced back in the car, driven off. Tied up by the side of the road. This is a very praised version of a 2.5-hour ordeal, and then I had my everything was looted from the car. They wanted cash and drugs, neither of which we had, which would have made our lives a lot easier if we had, but we just paid for the diving lessons with cash. And so we only had cards, which is a bit of a nuisance. And so they decided to keep us hostage. And I was really sick because when they put me back in the car, I had everything like that. It was flight or flight, panic, everything. I was going through it all. The other two were much more measured in their response, and I think it cost them more later, perhaps, because of that. But I kind of went through, I'm in complete exhaustion. And I very calmly said to one of the guys, after panicking in the car, just outside of the car, and I was hunched up on the front passenger person's knee, because 3 of them got in with us. 2 of my friends in the back, one with them, one driving, and one in the passenger seat. I was on his lap with my back on the windscreen when they drove us off-road before taking us out and tying us up. So I got cramped, my head was banging against the windscreen. And when I got out, the other 2 were told to kneel down, and I was trying to stand up because I wanted to be sick. And they thought, right, that's it, he's definitely the trouble one. He's the one who's showing most signs of blowing this whole thing open. So they took me away, they put me in the boot of the car, and I had to sort of argue my way out of the boot of the car, which was quite interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah,
you've lived. And I've got to let you go because you've got to go and become a monster.
On that note.
Yes, on that bombshell.
On that bombshell.
Good luck, sir.
You.
You're starring in Frankenstein at the National Theatre until the 17th of April. And remember, some UK cinemas and across the world cinemas.
Yeah, you can look on the website, www.nationaltheatrelive.com.
Excellent.
It'll tell you
March 17th and 24th. Good luck to you, sir.